Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here, and unfortunately, I caught COVID for the second time since the start of the pandemic, 3 years ago? Or at least I guess we're on our third year now. But anyway, I'm going to be stuck inside for the next 5 days or so I decided I would use that time to crank out a few videos. In this video, I want to talk about my worst nightmare, and it actually is a nightmare because I actually dream about it. From time to time. I've had this same basic nightmare probably about at least a dozen times over the course of my adult life. And I just thought I would explain it and explain why I really hope that this never happens to me or anyone else, because it can be very detrimental, especially with all these new would-be shootings that I keep seeing in the media. Those would-be shootings would be shootings. And of course there are quite a few mass shootings that happen anyway, but the dream, or the nightmare I should say, is, say, I or somebody else or one of my pets is being attacked by either an animal or another person, like a mass shooter or a robbery or something, and I'm carrying a gun, whether it be a gun like this 1911 or any of these other guns or any of the other guns that I own. And I pull the gun out. By the way, this is unloaded. All of these except for the Glock are unloaded. So I pull my gun out, I take aim, and I pull the trigger, and nothing happens. And actually, it's not even that nothing happens. It's that I'm pulling the trigger so hard, like the gun's broken. And, sometimes the gun will, drop the hammer, and nothing happens, meaning either that there's a light primer strike, or the firing pin is broken or something. And basically, I'm just, pulling the trigger and nothing happens. And meanwhile, that animal or that person can turn around and do harm to me, or kill whoever or whatever it was that they were attacking. So in my latest dream, which was, I don't know, about a week ago, I was in my fiance's barn, and I had my Glock, which I carry quite often at the farm. This is a 40 cal Glock, and I went in the barn and going through the horse stalls, and there was, for whatever reason, an alligator trying to attack one of my horses, or one of my fiance's horses, I should say. By the way, there are no alligators that live around here, at least not naturally, so not even really sure why I was dreaming about an alligator. But I pulled my Glock, and I took aim, and I pulled the trigger, and nothing happened. So I racked the slide and took aim again, and I pulled the trigger. Nothing happened because there were all kinds of light primer strikes happening, and I probably ejected every single round out of there before I went through the whole magazine, and none of those rounds went off. And meanwhile, that alligator most likely ate the horse. Definitely not something you want to have happen in real life. So if you are carrying, I would suggest you practice with your gun often, just to make sure that doesn't happen. It didn't even happen with just semi-automatics. It also happened with revolvers, like this Security 6 I got here. I would, and it usually, in the dream, it usually happens with a double action style gun like this, because it's usually that the trigger pull is so hard, and it's like I just never get to the end, and either the hammer doesn't go back and do anything, or I get like a light primer strike or something where the hammer does eventually fall, but nothing happens. So I've seen it happen with all these different types of guns. This is an old Smith & Wesson 39. Had it happen with a gun like this too. So, sounds like my dog is having a little fun outside. But yeah, so that is my worst nightmare. Having to use my gun for protection or to protect someone or something else, and pulling the gun out and nothing happening when I pull the trigger. Whether it's literally nothing happens, or I pull the trigger and I have a light primer strike or something where just the round itself doesn't go off. That is bad news. So I really hope that doesn't happen to me ever. If I ever have to pull one of these guns out for defense, hope that never happens to any of you. But, you know, let me know, are there any nightmares like this that you guys have from time to time when it comes to guns, whether it's handguns, rifles, shotguns, whatever? Let me know, because am I the only one that has these kind of dreams? If so, that makes me a little concerned, because, you know, I'm not a dream expert, but I don't really like having dreams like that. So anyway, that is my worst nightmare.
Hey, before I go, I just thought I'd remind everybody that I do have a second channel called Redneck Off the Range. Over there, I post most of my non-gun related content, so whether it's a video on my new tractor, my power tools, my projects that I'm working on, maybe wild game recipes, or just a random vlog, I post all of this kind of content over on my secondary channel. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go check it out, Redneck Off the Range. But that's all for this video, so subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.